Hey, everybody. So, after a 43-day government shutdown, life in Washington grows increasingly more bizarre each day. So, I'm sure many of you forgot that there ever was a government shutdown, but yeah, that just happened this past month. And so now we've got members of Congress who are acting as though nothing just happened. There's nothing to see here. Tens of thousands of people didn't just go without pay for several weeks. American airspace wasn't just canceled. Who knew that you could cancel the airspace in our country? Well, now we know that it happens and it's happened before, and hopefully we won't see that again anytime soon. But next, we hear that a lot of noise is coming out of the great state of Texas. Two arch nemesis even made headlines recently with Marjorie Taylor-Green and Jasmine Crockett. So let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of the Holy Politician Podcast. So let's begin with Republican Marjorie Greene Taylor in her own words.
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas, just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote.
And so her gripes sound legitimate, do they not? I mean, how much, bravery it takes for you to speak out against your own party at all. And recently she's been on a circuit. She's gone on The View. She's been on so many news stations and programs and talk shows where she's shared her story and really just been trying to get the American people to understand that things are not as they appear up on Capitol Hill. And that should be no surprise to anybody. This is why we have to stay in a posture of prayer for our elected officials. And so she's basically griping about the political industrial complex, saying that it's not serving the American people, that it is self-serving. And that's not very hard to see when you look at the way that our existing elected officials at the federal level in particular appear to be serving themselves. And again, I know that this is not a shock to anybody, but this should not be the current refrain of the American story, that we have self-serving politicians that some of them probably start out doing really good. They have good intentions, and yet they get bought out. And so this should cause all of us concern and make us want and pray for something more. All right. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene, other known as MTG, has only been in Congress for 5 years. And she's already saying, peace out. I'm throwing in the towel because she just didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. She's like, there's no point. This is too big of an industrial complex for me to make a dent. And so say she is a good actor and not a bad apple. What if all the good people leave? Then what do we have? Right? And so, as many of us know too, she's been one of the most controversial members in Congress of late. That was until she showed up. And I'm pretty sure that you probably have no idea who this person is. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Representative Jasmine Crockett, also from the great state of Texas. She actually may have surpassed Marjorie Taylor Greene as the most controversial member in Congress, but particularly in the House of Representatives. And so Crockett was elected to the House just 3 years ago. And this week, she announced that she is running for, drum roll please, she is running for the United States Senate. So here's what she had to say in her announcement speech. So Texas, get ready, because Team JC and her crew gonna turn y'all blue. Get ready, Texas. And what's so interesting about all of this is that, I mean, she basically began making noise the minute she hit her pavement on Capitol Hill. And this historically has not been the norm for Black congressional representatives and people that are representing their constituents from the Congressional Black Caucus. And I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Maybe members of Congress can be noisy, and sometimes that's true. But when does noisy cross over into nasty?
You the one talking about. I guess
I
you still
think your
stuck in the
fake eyelashes
courtroom.
are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on, hold on.
Listen,
Order.
Mr.
That's
Chairman,
beneath
would
even
you
your
please
history and
engage?
Now the chair recognizes Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
a
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman,
I didn't.
motion to
I had
strike
no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You
Y'all did it
just
first.
voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceeding.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games,
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
and you
yelling.
don't want me
Calm
to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if
Look, Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a
Mr.
problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Well, Texas, there you have it. You've got one rep. They were both representing themselves there, but you've got one rep going bye-bye, a Republican from Texas, and you got another rep, a Democrat, who's basically looking to assume one of the highest seats in a governing body in our country in the United States Senate. So if this is what Texas wants, this is what America will get, right? Senators like House representatives not only represent their constituency, but really they represent all of us. All 300 plus million of us are represented by the way that they legislate. And so Republicans like Marjorie Taylor-Green, who is now going to be gone in January, they tend to legislate on things like lower taxes. They legislate on things like safer borders, more economic competition, less federal bureaucracy, more parental control, less murdering of babies in the womb, and less mutilating, castrating, and frankly, just outright abusing children through things such as gender affirming care. Democrats, on the other hand, like Jasmine Crockett, they legislate on the opposite. So they are for, enough taxes to get the job done, open borders. They say that they're fans of capitalism, but some of their policies don't reflect that. They are for more federal regulations, more bureaucracy, children's rights instead of parents' rights, which doesn't quite make sense because the frontal lobe of a child is not fully developed until the child becomes an adult, is in their 20s, but that's okay. We'll let children decide what they want to do at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Therefore, things like legislating for the permission to kill babies in the womb and the mutilation, castration, and abuse of God's children through the evil practice that I just referred to as gender affirming care. So, Texas, I guess you better go and do your black job. And we will be praying for you, even though I say a lot of that in jest, praying for you and waiting with bated breath. And so let's take a minute and talk about what next year's political lineup looks like in Texas. It will be momentous because there are several people that are seeking a Senate seat in a very interesting field of candidates. And so the Democrats right now are primarily looking to two candidates now, 36-year-old James Tallarico, who is a sitting member of the House, as well as 44-year-old Jasmine Crockett, also a sitting member of the House of Representatives. There was a former member of the House, 42-year-old Colin Allred, that actually just recently withdrew his bid for his Senate candidacy, even though he did run in the last election for Senate against the incumbent. And there are others on the Democrat side. On the Republican side, they're looking to their incumbent, 73-year-old John Cornyn, and he's been in his seat since 2002. There's also 62-year-old Ken Payton, who is a Texas Attorney General right now, 43-year-old Wesley Hunt, who is a sitting member of the United States House, who recently had this to say about Jasmine Crockett.
Baby, because these people, they are crazy. Because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers.
And going after people and making ad hominem attacks that are basically unfounded and unsubstantiated because you think this is the Real Housewives or something like that is not serious. And what I really want people to understand is being United States Senator from the great state of Texas requires a certain level of understanding, requires a certain level of love for this country. It requires a fighter. And I want to talk about the things that are most germane to what Texans want. We want border security. We want low regulation. We want low taxes. And quite frankly, I really don't care about, I think what she said about what they is doing and they really are. But I really want to talk about what things are most important to Texans. And it is not the personalized and ad hominem attacks about members. It is about what makes Texas, Texas, and why I believe we and Florida are the two greatest states in this great nation. Nice. And that kind of leadership is not going to work and it's not going to fly. Don't mess with Texas.
So we'll just have to wait and see who will be the last man or woman standing, won't we? Keep Texas in prayer. I know that there's been a flood of people that have moved to different red states, but Texas ain't going to be red much longer, according to JC. But we just need to pray. We need to plead the blood of Jesus, which is red. And we need to plead that God will have mercy on all of us, regardless of what side of the aisle that we stand on, even if we stand in the middle. The bottom line is we need to stand for Christ. Christ is the only place that we need to pledge our allegiance. And keep in mind that the government, even though it reopened recently, could potentially shut down again on January 30th. So just keep that in prayer. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Take care.